Hey everybody, this is Sean with Tab Off-Road. Today I'm going to be doing an oil change on this Polaris RZR S900, and we're also going to talk about the K&P Engineering oil filter that we're going to be installing. Alright, for this job it's pretty straightforward. All you'll need is a 6mm Allen, an oil catch pan, a funnel, your oil, and your oil filter. First step is getting this thing up to operating temperature. That takes about 1 to 2 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and start this up, let it run, and then we'll get going. Alright, once we've got it warmed up, next we can access our oil pan. The oil pan in this particular model is located in the trunk. I have to remove this plastic cover here. With the cover out of the way, we can get access to our oil fill spot. It's this piece right here. You do want to make sure this area is nice and clean before you take the cap off. That way nothing falls in to your oil when you take the cap off. Okay, with our oil cap off, next we can move underneath and take out our oil drain plug. And you do want to take the oil cap off so that way you're not creating a vacuum when this is draining. So when that's out, come down here. The drain plug is actually this guy in the front. There is another spot here with a plug in it towards the rear. This one up here is the one you want. It's the 6mm. That's the one that's in the bottom of our oil pan. So go ahead and back that out with the 6mm. Make sure you have your oil catch pan ready. While that's draining, you can see we got the plug there. We also have this copper crush gasket. Inspect that. If it needs to be replaced, go ahead and replace that. While this is draining, we'll go ahead and move up to the oil filter. The oil filter and the dipstick are a lot easier to access with the driver's seat removed. You don't have to do this, it just gives you a little bit more room. If you do it this way, to remove the seat, all you have to do is reach behind the seat here, and there's a little tab you just lift up on that, and the seat pops right out. With the seat out of the way, we can get to our filter and dipstick underneath this panel right here. Pull that out. Alright, here is our oil filter. Here's the dipstick. And we're going to go ahead and remove the oil filter now. This is where you're going to add the rags, because it is kind of in a upside down position. So when you take that filter off, oil will definitely pour out of there. So just have some rags ready. Just less of a mess I'll have to clean up later. Alright, now we'll install the K&P Engineering oil filter. We like to use these for a number of reasons. Number one, they're washable and reusable. You'll never have to buy a new one again. Anytime you do an oil change, you can just take out the filter. Pops right out. Give it a good cleaning with soap and water or brake cleaner. Run some compressed air through it, clean it all out, and then you're back up and running, good to go. Also, this does have up to 7 times the flow rate of a stock filter, while at the same time meeting and oftentimes exceeding OE filtration standards. Another good aspect of it, it's got a pre-filtration magnet, so if you have any big particles or anything that's going to be going into your engine that you really don't want to be going in there, it's going to be caught on that magnet first. And what's really nice about that is whenever you clean this, it just lets you obviously see the magnet, see what your magnet is catching, if there's any big particles. But being able to take it apart allows you to see any other potential issues that you might be having. You can see what's going on just because you can take it apart and evaluate what's going on in the filter. Another cool thing about this filter, it actually comes with its own socket, so you'll never have any issue trying to get this thing on and off ever again. I know sometimes they can get torqued on there pretty good, and sometimes, like in this spot, it can be kind of hard to reach. So if you have that socket, just put it on there. It should be pretty easy to get on and off. But we're going to go ahead and install this here. Before I install this, I'm going to make sure everything's clean in here. I'm going to make sure my gasket surface is clean, make sure there's no dust or debris in there. So everything cleaned up, ready to go. I lubed up our gasket surface with some fresh oil. Just going to go ahead and all this. And the factory torque spec on this is spin it on until the gasket meets the crankcase surface, and then another half a turn from there. Next we'll want to make sure our surface where our drain plug will meet our oil pan is nice and clean, just so there's no dirt and debris that gets caught in there. And we'll reinstall our drain plug with our new crush gasket. We'll get this torque down. Factory torque spec on this drain plug is 12 foot-pounds. Alright, now we'll go ahead and fill it up with oil. Be sure to double check your manual for the amount that you need to put in. This particular one takes 2.5 quarts, so we'll go ahead and get that put in there. Then we'll check our levels on our dipstick. With our oil in, we can reinstall our cap. Alright, with the cap in place, next I'm going to go ahead and just double check my dipstick level just to see where it's at. Once I check it there, then I'm going to let it warm up and idle for a little bit. Then I'll shut it off and check it when the engine is warmed up. Once I verify the levels there, I'll reinstall the seat. Put our plastic cover back on. Once the seat is back in place, next we can reinstall our plastic cover. Alright, with that plastic piece in place, this job is complete. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram for cool posts and videos. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more cool and helpful videos. Thanks, guys.